Welcome, everyone, and hello, race fans, to Michigan International Speedway here on this lovely Friday afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Bill Deal. Welcome, everyone, to this broadcast here at Stock Car TV. And we want to say we're going to get underway here shortly with 100 laps of nothing but wide open racing. And these guys are getting the last things to be done. As you know, this is sim racing. And like any sim racing program, there is some glitches and some flaws in it, but we try our best to keep them down. Got about 9 or 10 cars out on the track tonight, so here at Michigan International Speedway. Thank you all for joining in. And we're going to let you know the drivers is getting in the cars and getting suited up and getting ready to roll out behind the pace car here. We'll have 100 laps this afternoon. Pit road speed is 60 miles per hour, so those guys got to be careful when they're coming in this fast track. A track is capable of doing over 210 miles per hour before they start dropping speed in turn one. So let's get the action going here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and see what we can find out, who's on what, where, as the cars start popping up on the pit road, getting ready to go outside the pit box and lining up on pit road, and for the guys to give command, and we'll get to it momentarily. Excuse me, and we'll see here that there's some very notable cars here, and the pit road is lined up. These guys are lined up ready to rock and roll here this afternoon for 100 laps. As you see, the pace car with the lights on, and they're going out. So let's get started, folks, right now. As you see, the pole position is that number 70 Mountain Dew sponsored Chevy Camaro, Paul Brown. Dave Christensen in that Cam King Chevrolet, and number 72 is in second outside the pole. Keith Chestnut, that number 3 Good Ranch sponsored Chevrolet, Richard Childress Racing, starts in third. Roy Wynn in that Napa sponsored number 14 Chevy Camaro starts fourth. Kent Thomas in that number 40 St. Louis Cardinals Ford Mustang starts fifth. Lawrence Stoppleworth in that number 41 Mack Tool Chevrolet starts in the sixth position. Jack Martell in that Ford Mustang with the volunteer fire department. I think it's the Southwest Harbor Fire Department is the sponsor. Ron Blackwell on that MSRL sponsored Chevy Camaro is in eighth. Will Bartoli in that LA Kings car, the Chevrolet starting in the ninth position. And certainly last but not least is that 101 Vietnam veteran. We thank him for his service for our country, Val Witcherts of California. We'll talk about these drivers as the race continues on. So let's go back up front as the action's fixed to start here this afternoon. Wonderful Friday afternoon for a good race, and hopefully they have no cautions. But like anything else, it's possible. So as the pace car's lights are turned off, these guys are getting bunched up and getting ready to rock and roll here for 100 laps here, folks, this afternoon. Paul Brown on the pole, Dave Christensen on the outside as the green flag is dropped, and here they go. Paul Brown jumps out in front, takes the lead. Is that number 3 Good Ranch Chevrolet on the bottom, right up in his bumper, looking to get some speed out of that number 3 car. He's got that number 70 car on in his sights, and is he going to be able to make the pass? No, not this time. As you see, Dave Christensen working hard on the back of that number 3 car to gain some real estate. Dave Christensen drops down to the bottom. 70 in that number 3 car stays in the middle of the track. And no, they're going to be running 3 wide here, but not quite. Oh, yes, they are going to be running 3 wide. That 3, 72, and 70. Running 3 wide down the front stretch here this afternoon, folks. Getting it done at over 207 miles per hour. These guys are just scratching and racking and scratching for every bit of real estate they can get. And looks like Paul Brown has dropped back into third position here. So looking back at the field now, we see Keith Chestnut and that number 3 Good Ranch Chevrolet has jumped up to second, and Dave Christensen has jumped into first position. He is leading the race right now here on lap number 2 at Michigan International Speedway. Cam King Chevrolet here, and David Christensen in California. Cam King's Auto Club out in California is he's a member of, as we see them guys coming across the start-finish line, all scattered out here. And Dave's making his presence known out here on the track. Kind of an oddly shaped the way the car is painted, but hey, if it trips your trigger, that's so be it, And now we see Kent Thomas has jumped up there in the second position here. And Kent Thomas in that number 40 Ford Mustang has found him a little bit of horsepower somewhere or another. He's jumped up there chasing down Dave Christensen for the lead of the race here Early stages of the race, folks, right here in lap number 3, coming into lap number 4 here at Michigan International Speedway this afternoon. Dave Christensen across the line. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With all 10 cars still running on the lead lap and still trying to chase down one another for some position. Dave Christensen holding off that number 40. Dave Christensen's got a fast car here this afternoon. Talked to his garage guys earlier. He said that Dave was happy with his car here at this track. Everything seems to be in order, and he said they were going to give it all they got. So we'll see within 95 laps as they come across the start-finish line here shortly. Is he going to be the car to beat here this afternoon? And by the looks of it right now, Dave Christensen has got a pretty good lead on Kent Thomas here. Kent Thomas got a little bit of lead on that 3 car, Keith Chestnut, that good wrench sponsored Chevrolet. And the rest of the guys making tracks, trying to work on getting some real estate closed in on him. See Kent Thomas diving to the bottom of that track, trying to make it work. Dave Christensen working hard here this afternoon, running the high outside that track. Coming into turns 3 and 4, dropping down to the middle of that track, making that car work around that track, keeping his speed up, making that car work on the high side to keep that momentum build up that he got. So if he goes down too low, he's going to drop off some. He knows that, so he's keeping that car up as high as he can, and the rest of the field is following suit. We'll go take this time to go through the field right now and see what everybody's doing. You see Val Witcher bringing up the rear, and that 101 101st Airborne sponsored Toyota. Val Witcher, native California, also a Vietnam veteran. Thank you for running here this afternoon with MSRL. And you look like up to Dave Christensen there. Yeah, Dave's good. So we're going to go back here to Roy Wynn, Snellville, Georgia, and that number 14 Chevy Camaro, Napa-sponsored Chevrolet here. Roy Wynn, a great computer guy, works on a lot of computers on his part-time. Loves the dump truck. I think he did something like that when he was a kid, but anyhow, Roy Wynn running in 9th position here this afternoon, making his car go to the bottom here and trying to gain some real estate on them 2 cars in front of him. Will Bartoli and that L.A. Kings white number 01 Chevy Camaro here this afternoon has picked up the 7th position here, working on the outside. As you see that 03 car of Jack Martell and that Southwest Harbor Fire Department car at Mustang working on the back, getting some real estate worked on him this afternoon, closing him in on him. Ron Blackwell at number 6, the MSRL sponsored Chevy Camaro here running 6th position, running the high side, trying to keep his car out of trouble. And it looks like he got a little bit sideways, and hold on to it, Ron, hold on to it. Yeah, you got it. Got a little bit sideways. Car may be a little loose. We'll check with the crew chief shortly, see what we can find out. But he goes from 6th place back to 10th place because he got a little loose coming out of turn 2. That can happen at this track if you don't have your car set up correctly. And so Ron Blackwell running back in number 10th position here, hoping the caution to come out pretty quick so he can make his time back up. And that's going to put us back to Jack Martell here running in that 6th position, taking that position over from Ron Blackwell. Kent Thomas is back to 5th now, dropped back just a little bit because maybe his tires got worn. We're hearing from his crew chief that he's running his tires kind of hot. But maybe he may be saving them tires. He may come up with some kind of pit strategy or make them some race strategy. We don't know. But he fell back from the 2nd to the 5th position here, taking care of his machine this afternoon right here at Michigan International Speedway. Lawrence Stoppleworth from Chaffee, North Dakota. And that number 41 Mac Tool sponsored Chevy Camaro SS. The only guy who's still running the old body style Camaro. He loves it. Don't want to get rid of it. So, to each his own. And Lauren making some headway here this afternoon. Got up in the 4th position as we see these guys come down the back stretch. 3rd position here, worked back from still holding his own right here is that number 3 Chevy Camaro. Good rent sponsored Chevrolet. Keith Chestnut. Hails from Kenneally, North Carolina. Been a long time Richard Childress racing fan. Over 25 years. Making his way across the start-finish line here, that Chevy Camaro. Word got from the shop, his car is not doing the best in the world this afternoon. Got a few adjustments to make to it to make it right, he said, but he's going to hold on to it and see what he can do, and we'll know shortly. Looks like, folks, we got a new leader. Paul Brown is our new leader here on the race lap number 11 as he takes over the position from Dave Christensen. Dave fighting back, but Paul trying to hold him off here Lap number 11 here as they go into come out of turn 4 down the front stretch. And Paul Brown puts a little bit of a lead on him, as you'll see. Dave Christensen following up close behind him. Paul Brown, a native of Pennsylvania, sim racing for a long, long time. One of the best in the business. Knows how to get around the track. Knows definitely what to make his car, what to expect out of his crew chief and guys in the pits to make his car run better. And knows how to set up his car as well. Great person. So Paul Brown here this afternoon, lap number 12, with 88 to go, right here at Michigan International Speedway, leading the way. As we coming up on a station break here, folks, we will be back shortly. Thank you for tuning in. And welcome back to Stock Car TV, ladies and gentlemen. We are here live at Michigan International Speedway on Friday afternoon, running the Michigan 100. These guys are 200 miles of racing. Paul Brown, native from Pennsylvania, is out in the lead. Got a good margin of lead here on these guys. As you see, he's got about good 10 car lengths ahead of second place car Dave Christensen from California. It's Paul Brown's making it work this afternoon, him and that Mountain Dew sponsored Chevy Camaro, as they come up out of turn 4, working their way down the front stretch. Pit road speeds will be 60 mile an hour. We expect pit roads shortly here to start happening under green flag conditions. I think the window for pit roads is somewhere, as far as the fuel mileage is concerned, is somewhere around 17, 18 laps, somewhere in that neighborhood. We don't know exactly when, but we'll keep an eye on some of these guys and see which one goes into pits, and be able to pit their car first before anybody else does. Ron Blackwell working back into 10th position, taking his time, working his way slowly toward the front. Will Bartoli running that 9th position. Jack Martell in 8th. Val Woodrich in 7th. Roy Wynn in 6th. Lawrence Stopperworth is running 5th. Kent Thomas running at 4th position, losing a little bit of real estate to that number 3 car, but he is right dead on him. So might be some drafting going on here in the backstretch, trying to make it work. That 3 car keeps dropping down the bottom, and see if he's going to be able to pull it off. And he does slow up a little bit, and you see his car going up toward the middle of the track. That's going to allow. And this number 3 car is pitting. Number 3 car is pitting, and he's going to go into pits and see what kind of service he's going to get in his car here at lap 16. I think he's going to be a couple laps short of running out of fuel, but be a smart move on his part if he can go in and get some fuel. And I don't see anybody else coming in the pits with him, as we see Paul Brown still leading the race. And that's going to drop Keith Chestnut back to the last position, 10th position here at Michigan International Speedway. As we see him get right side tires, and they're putting some great Sunoco fuel in his car. And we see him getting left side tires, so he's getting 4 tires and a tank of gas, folks. He's going to in it for the long haul. Of course, we've got probably somewhere around 85, about 83 laps left to go, maybe 82 laps left to go now. But that's going to put him about a lap down. Him coming out on the track, building up his speed again. These cars have got some, this track is a great track. You run 3 and 4 wide here at this track, plenty of room, and build up speeds to somewhere around about 207, 208 mile an hour into turn 3. And coming into turn 1, you'll be about 210 to 212 miles per hour, depending on how hard you hold the gas pedal down. Some of these guys are getting it done pretty hard, as you'll see that number 3 car coming across the start finish line at 205 miles per hour. And that is cooking with gas. So, yeah, 212, bump 212. You see him, he got past Ron Blackwell there just by the skin of his teeth. So, be careful out there, guys. As you see these guys now start coming into the pits. Lord have mercy, a whole gang of cars on the pits. Paul Brown, Dave Christensen, Roy Wynn, Kent Thomas, Lawrence Toppleworth, Jack Martell, and Val Witchers all in pits coming out. Let's see who's going to be who on pit road. And we see Paul Brown still takes the lead here coming out of pit road. Paul Brown coming out of pit road in that first position here, still leading the race. Will Bartoli taking some service for his car. A little bit longer than usual. Might have had some little problem with it, so he stayed in there a little bit and got that taken care of, I hope. Paul Brown still the race leader as he passes Will Bartoli. Dave Christensen second. Keith Chestnut back into third, making his turf work around here this afternoon. Kent Thomas working hard trying to gain position here this afternoon. Boys fighting and clawing for every bit of real estate they can get their hands on. You see Lawrence Toppleworth in that fifth position working on the back of number 40. Kent Thomas trying to make it work this afternoon. Kent Thomas on the back end of that 3 car, going to the high side of that number 3, trying to gain some advantage. As you see that 3 car dive bomb toward down the bottom, that might hurt his chances to stay ahead, but evidently not, because he has definitely put a little move on him, and Kent Thomas is right to his heels. So Kent Thomas did something to that car, found some horsepower somewhere or another up under that hood, and he's staying right with that number 3 car. We see Lawrence Toppleworth still running in 5th position here. And Ron Blackwell has made it back to the 6th position. Roy Wynn from Snellville, Georgia, 7th. Val Witchers, 8th. Jack Martell, 9th. And Will Bartoli, 10th. As Paul Brown still leads the race here at lap 22, Michigan International Speedway. And folks, we're going to take a station break. We'll be back momentarily. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, back to Stock Car TV. We're here live here at Michigan International Speedway this Friday afternoon. We're running the Michigan 100. 100 laps and 200 miles of pure hard racing. As you see the back end of Paul Brown's number 70 Mountain Dew sponsored Chevy Camaro, putting a little distance between himself and second place car Dave Christensen this afternoon here. And Paul is just loving this, playing around with it. And he's running a little bit faster in the corners than most of these guys, about 189, 188. Paul's putting about 192 in the corners, so he's put some horsepower up under that engine, under that hood somewhere or another. We see his speed go up about 209 before he starts falling off the gas. He's right back on it about the middle of the corner, and then right back on it when he comes out of the corner and just lays it to the floor. Back of Will Bartoli's car, who's running in 10th position. Jack Martell running in 9th. And that 03 Southwest Harbor Fire Department Ford Mustang. Val Witchers in that 101 Screaming Eagle Foundation Toyota. Roy Wynn in that number 14 Napa sponsored Chevy Camaro here this afternoon. Kind of got a Chase Elliott theme going on there. Ron Blackwell in that MSRL Racing Team number 5 Chevy Camaro here. trying his best to move up in the field. Started last, now he's back into 10th. Back into 6th position. Kent Thomas in that number 44 Mustang St. Louis Cardinal sponsored machine as he works his way into turn 1 and 2. About 184 miles per hour. Speed dropped off just a little bit. These guys getting these tires worn and getting these tires a little bit hot. So, yeah, they're going to drop off a little bit as far as speed is concerned. As you see him on the back of that number 3 Goodwrench Server Chevrolet, Keith Chestnut here is he's working hard to try to stay off the wall here. He's complaining to his crew chief that he's tight. Since he come out of pit road, his car is real tight. So he's going to try to do what he can to get back into next pit stall or next pit stop they have is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 30 to 34 laps. As you see him just right on the back of Kent Thomas. I mean, all over the back end of him. You could have put a tattoo on the back of that Ford Mustang. Wow. And he is not giving up. He has got the he's gonna let that guy know that hey, you took it, but I'm gonna fight you for it. So but these tires plays a vital role here at this racetrack, because this is a good racetrack to run, but they are tough on tires. So if your car's got a good setup, you can run pretty quick. Like our leader Paul Brown and Dave Christensen, they have just walked away from the rest of the field here this afternoon. As you'll see, his speed dropped down to about 185 mile an hour in turn 1 and 2. Back on the gas. Still following Kent Thomas. Running into 6th position here. Kent Thomas taking over 5th. You're looking at the back glass of Kent, the back bumper of Kent Thomas's car. You see Roy Wynn and Keith Chestnut working himself back there, trying to make their car work around this afternoon, going across the start-finish line, lap 30. So 70 more laps here at this track to go. Ron Blackwell's made it at the 4th position here. Lawrence Stopworth in 3rd. We're going to shoot out the front of the Lawrence car, see if we can see anybody close to him, and sure enough, there is Dave Christensen. He is running down Dave Christensen as hard as he can go. Easy, Lauren, easy. Stay out of that wall. We got monkey glue up there in that wall. Stay away from it. There you go. Lauren, I'll tell you something about Lauren Stopworth. Now, he is a character. He's a good driver and a good person. Basically just loves to have fun, but now he will drive the wheels off a race car, let me tell you. He is that. He just don't care. I'll run it or wreck it. That's his motto. So, Lawrence Stopworth running 3rd this afternoon, lap 31 here at Michigan International Speedway. We jump up here and see what Dave Christensen is doing. The distance between him and Paul Brown. Oh, pretty good distance in here. Dave, you're going to step on the gas, buddy. Because a little bit of thing going on between these guys, the radio communication. So Dave just asked his spotter to ask Paul Brown's spotter, could he please slow down a little bit while he can catch up to it. I don't think that's going to work there, Dave. But anyhow, good try. Dave Christensen, number 2. It's P2 here this afternoon. On lap 32 at Michigan International Speedway. Sponsored by MSRL, Men's Senior Racing League. If you want to know more about how to run in this league, go to the website www.msrl.us. Type that in your search bar and it should pull up. If it don't blame me. All right, back to racing action here this afternoon. Let's slip back through the field a little bit and see what we got going on. There's Paul Brown. As we look out the back bumper camera of Paul Brown's car. And Paul is just on rails this afternoon for some reason. I'm pretty sure them boys is going to be asking NASCAR to disassemble his car after this is over with if he wins the race like this. I guarantee you. Paul Brown, your race leader here this afternoon, lap number 34. Dave Christensen in 2nd. Lawrence Stopworth in 3rd. As you see Lawrence's car right there. Ron Blackwell running 4th. Roy Wynn running 5th. Kent Thomas 6th. Keith Chestnut 7th. Val Woodchurch 8th. Jack Martell is 9th. And Will Bartoli's 10th. Do we have somebody going in the pits? I don't. Yes, I believe we have the number 3 car. Oh, yep, the number 3 car is going into the pits, folks, and so is Ron Blackwell. So Ron Blackwell, there comes Jack Martell into the pits. Let's take a look at Jack Martell and see what he does with his car. How many tires does he take? How much fuel he takes? Like I said before, folks, pit road speed is 60 miles per hour right here. These guys got to get their cars slowed down before they cross that white line into pit entrance. If they don't, they'll serve a penalty, possibly a drive-through penalty for going fast. Oh, look out here. Almost had a little commotion, little accident right here, almost an accident right here on pit road between Ron Blackwell and Jack. And Jack's going to cause Jack to lose some serious time right here on his pit road because he had to stop, keep from hitting Ron Blackwell, and he had to back up to get service in his pits, and that's going to cost Jack Martell some time here this afternoon after he gets his car fixed. Tires on it. He's on the way. Now you can see Paul Brown and Val Woodward's coming in. Dave Christensen is coming in the pits. So Jack Martell goes from 6th to 10th because of the incident on pit road here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. Paul Brown going down pit road. And see what kind of tires and stuff he takes. Because the whole gang of guys is going to come in here. Dave Christensen, Lawrence Stopworth, Will Bartoli, Roy Wynn. Paul Brown taking right side tires. And looks like that's all he's going to do. He decided to get some gas. Don't see the left hand side of that car raised up. So there he goes. Paul Brown. Gas and right side tires only. I know what some of them guys are thinking. Looking at him saying, cheater. But, Paul don't do that. So, anyhow. No, and we see Lawrence Stopworth whiz by him. No, that wasn't Lauren. That was Jack Martell. So much for our cameraman. I think our cameraman's drunk this afternoon. He may be, I don't know. Lawrence Stopworth working himself back out of the pits, going in 4th position. Ron Blackwell covering the 5th. Coming up on the outside there and working himself into the 4th position. I don't think that's going to last long, but we'll see. Lawrence Stopworth running 5th. Roy Wynn 6th. Keith Chestnut back into 7th. Val Woodward's 8th. Jack Martell 9th. And Will Bartoli 10th. We've got word from Will's crew chief that Will has an ill-handling car, so they're making constant adjustments on that car to try to make it work here. He's complaining about the car's a little bit too tight here. Tight going in and loose coming out. So we'll see how many more times we can pit here this afternoon, which is right now lap 38, I'm sorry. And see if we can get that car fixed and get back up there to position he deserves. Paul Brown still our race leader here on lap 39. He comes into turns 1 and 2. That Mountain Dew sponsored Chevy Camaro. I'm pretty sure Paul's missing his buddy Ed Palumbo this afternoon. Paul Brown getting it done here, working hard, keeping that race car up front. And we'll look out the back of Paul's car and we'll take a side view. Our fast drone, we love it so good. And look out at the top of Paul's car. You see him sitting in there driving and head bobbing around. I don't know if that's the reason he's driving like he is. His head's bobbing around because of the car's centrifugal force, so he's just nervous. I don't know which one it is. Anyhow, looking at the back of Paul Brown's car, nothing in sight. You see one car way back there coming out of turn 2 right now. And that, my friends, is none other than Dave Christensen. Looking at the back of Dave's car as he comes into 3. Running at Cam King's Chevy Camaro. As you'll see, Lawrence Stopworth race with Ron Blackwell. Ron's taking some real estate away from him. Paul Brown working on the back of Jack Martell here, trying to put him a lap down. Jack working hard to keep him going a lap down here this afternoon, lap 41. Dave Christensen running 2nd. Lawrence Stopworth 3rd. Ron Blackwell. Not talking much about Ron Blackwell this afternoon. Let's talk about Ron just a little bit. Ron hails from New Jersey. He's the admin and owner of Men's Senior Racing League. Ron's been racing a right good while. Ron just recently had a birthday, so happy birthday, Ron. Married, got children and grandkids, and loves to play pool and mess around up there in New Jersey. Great fella. Ron Blackwell here this afternoon, running fourth at that number 5 MSRL sponsored Chevy Camaro, Michigan International Speedway. Roy Wynn. We haven't talked a whole lot about Roy Wynn. Roy Wynn hails from Snellville, Georgia. Married, got kids and grandkids. Works on computers part-time. And does a little dump trucking every now and then. Had his own business. Roy's been kind of mission in action for a while. Good to see Roy Wynn back out on the track here at Michigan this afternoon. Good running this afternoon. Roy's running in 5th position. I know he's wanting a little bit more ground, but he's kind of happy with that position right now. Especially being in front of this guy here. Keith Chestnut, that number 3 Goodwrench sponsored Chevy Camaro. Keith's been complaining to his crew chief that his car's getting tighter and tighter. So there may be some, next time you go in the pits, might be some tire pressure adjustments and on-track bar adjustments during the track. He said he's got it about where he wants it, but he needs some tire pressure adjustments, so they'll probably do that, put some wedge or take some wedge out. More than likely take some wedge out to make the car run a little looser. He's definitely not too happy with the car right now. It's been a front runner all day long, and now he's dropped back into the 6th position. Of course, I think there's going to be probably times that he's probably been lower than that or higher than that, but holding his own nonetheless right here at Michigan International Speedway. Kent Thomas and that number 40 Ford Mustang, St. Louis Cardinal, hails from East Peoria, Illinois. This guy right here can drive a race car. This is no joke, people. This guy can drive a race car. Pull in the pits if he has to use the bathroom before the guy gets his tires changed on his car. He jumped out of the car, went to the little boys' room at the porta-john, and got back in the car, strapped in and ready to go. That's how fast he is. Some of them said if he was facing that race car, they would quit. They would never come back. But that's Kent Thomas right this afternoon. He races in 3 different leagues. He races in the Xfinity Outlaw Series and the Stock Car Racing League Series on Friday nights, and here with MSRL. So Kent Thomas here running in the 7th position this afternoon here at Michigan International Speedway. Val Witchers and that 101 sponsored Toyota Woody. Val being a Vietnam veteran, our hats and off to him for his service. He was one of the lucky ones who went over there and fought a war that was very unappreciative and came back home. Tell about it. Great guy. But Val seems to be just tooling right along here. Val runs his own race. He's got his way about running his car, and when you think he's not there, you better watch him. He'll sneak up on you and bite you. So Val Witcher's running the 8th position here at the Michigan International Speedway this afternoon, folks. Jack Martell. Let's talk about Jack Martell a little bit. Loves to play golf. Volunteer fireman for the Southwest Harbor Fire Department up in Maine. On that number 03 Ford Mustang. Loves to play golf. The man can hit a ball and close both his eyes at the same time. You got to be talented to do that, folks. And he can drive a ball just about as good as he can drive that race car, they tell me. So we'll have to go check him out one day. We'll have to go play golf with him one day. Take a trip up to Maine and see what he's doing up there and see how he plays golf. And they tell me he's the Arnold Palmer of Maine. I don't know, but that's what they say. But we'll have to check that out. And we see, speaking of Jack Martell, Jack, oh, man, you better match that motor on that Ford Mustang, because that Paul Brown looking at the back end of you right now, trying to put you a lap down, buddy. Will Bartoli doing his best to hang on this afternoon. Will Bartoli's a lap down. Oh, we see Roy Wynn getting the wall a little bit. Roy, what happened to you? Roy Wynn getting into the wall this afternoon here. That's not going to be good. So, caused a little damage on his car. I don't know if he car got loose and he slipped in the wall, or just what happened back there, but he definitely got into the wall, got a little right side damage on that car. I don't see any tire smoke yet, so evidently it won't severe enough to cause any tire smoke and the tire rub. So if it did, he'll probably be coming into the pits. But right now he's holding his own fifth position. Will Bartoli in the 10th position. 1 lap down as he goes around in 3 and 4. Complaining his car is not handling right. It's been a little bit tight this afternoon. But he's doing his best to try to stay up with the rest of them. So, and everybody has a bad day. Everybody has a good day. And this is not, according to Will, this is not a good day for him. His car is not handling right like he wants to. So maybe he'll get the chance to that can correct it. The pit crew can correct it next time he goes in the pits. We certainly hope so. Might be a round of adjustments on the wedge or some tire pressure changes or whatever he needs to have. But he is definitely looking forward to the next pit stop here and racing at Michigan International Speedway. And we might have a caution out on the field, folks. It could be that we have a competition caution. As we go through the field and see, is everybody where they're supposed to be? Yep. And the competition caution has been thrown here at lap 52. Paul Brown, your race leader here at Michigan International Speedway with MSRL. As the guys come around the turn 2, catching up to the rest of the field here in the back stretch. See the pace car out, lead them down the back stretch. Gang of cars bunching all up. And what in the world is Kent Thomas doing? I think Kent's, we'll let it go at that. But anyhow, I think, he's like he's mowing grass or something. What is he doing? What are you doing, Kent? I think Kent uses psychological driving a lot to try to fool these drivers, and he does that. He's good at that. You'll watch him trying to go in the pits whenever the pits is closed. He'll dive toward the pits, and just about the time he gets right there at the cone, he'll snatch right back out to the racetrack, hoping somebody come in behind him, not pay attention, and go a lap down. So, but I think most of the boys is on to him now. But Kent Thomas here with a little bit of trickery going on here this afternoon here at Michigan International Speedway. We go back up here to and we see Will Bartoli catching up to the field. We go back up to the front here on Paul Brown is our race leader. Dave Christensen in second. Looks like Lauren Stoppleworth running third. Ron Blackwell fourth, Roy Wynn fifth, Keith Chestnut sixth, Kent Thomas seventh, Val Waters eighth, Jack Martell in ninth, and Will Bartoli brings up the rear of the field. Folks, that's what it is here this afternoon. We're at lap 53. We have competition caution. The track officials decided caution halfway to the race. And don't think we've had a caution. We almost had a caution, but not quite. Ron Blackwell kind of lost his coming out of turn 2, but he was able to hang on to it. So that's some great driving by Ron. But right now, these guys are probably tickled to death to get a competition caution. Gives them a little break. Doesn't seem like that long, but I tell you something. You stay in the wheel, behind the wheel, this thing hour and a half. You're really, that's what most of these 100 laps takes anyhow. You're really getting ready to get up. You're glad it's over with when it's over. So, but right now the guys on their mind is getting to the front, getting gas and tires, and getting in and out of pit road. Be careful not to speed, and make sure they get the proper adjustments on the cars as they come down out of turn 4. Coming down pit road, and we see Lauren Stoppleworth going to jump out there and lead a lap, and so will Jack Martell. Jack Martell and Ron Stoppleworth stand out on the track here this afternoon. The rest of them going down pit road. That's going to put Paul Brown in second, third. Lauren Stoppleworth gets to be leading the lap, gets that extra bonus points for leading the lap. Jack Martell right behind him. So we see Will Bartoli coming out of the pit road in third position. So that's a great break for Will Bartoli here this afternoon. I know Will's happy with that. Paul Brown coming out fourth. Ron Blackwell fifth. Dave Christensen coming out sixth. Roy Wynn seventh. Kent Thomas 8, Keith Chestnut falls back to ninth position, and Vi Woodruff brings up the rear of the field. So that's how it is right now, folks. And it will probably cycle out if Lauren and Lauren Stopperworth and Jack Martell, they go into pits. They'll have to because they won't have no choice. They'll be out of fuel next couple of laps. So you can look for, after they recycle the pit stops and everything, or recycling the pit stops rather, you'll see these guys fall back a little bit into position. Lauren Stopperworth and that Mac Tour sponsored Chevy. The pace car is courtesy of Central Chevrolet of North Bergen, New Jersey, believe it or not. And that is a pace car that's owned by MSRL. As the pace car continues on, you'll see Paul Brown and some of the other guys stay out. You see Lawrence Stopworth, Jack Martell, Will Bartoli, and Keith Chestnut come into pits. And let's see what kind of deal they do for Lawrence Stopworth. We got wind. Somebody said that here a while back that we don't know which race it was. Of course, we're digging into it. That Lawrence Stopworth actually running into nude with no clothes on in a race car at 190 miles an hour. I hope that's not true. If it is, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, but anyhow. And with that being said, somebody said the reason he did that so he could feel the air. Well, yeah, running naked at 180 miles an hour, you can feel a lot. We're not going into that. Okay, Lawrence Stopworth goes in the pits, gets fought right side tires and fuel, comes back out in seventh position here. That's going to turn the lead over to Paul Brown. Paul Brown, Pennsylvania native here, running with the MSRL this afternoon. Once again, folks, if you want to find out more how you can race with these guys, get your own car painted with your own sponsor, contact Ron Blackwell at www.msrl.us. MSRL is on that number 5 car. You can see it right there. And if you want to know more about racing on Thursday nights with the Xfinity Series, contact that gentleman right there. And that number 70, black and green Chevy Camaro, Paul Brown, with RidgeRunnersRacing.com. And let's and we got 3 guys going to come in the pits. Paul Brown, Jack Martell, and Keith Chestnut. I wonder what kind of strategy they're pulling up their sleeve this afternoon. Paul Brown going into the pits. More than likely, Paul Brown to take 2 tires and fuel. Well, may not take no tires and fuel, but we'll see. Nope, no tires, just fuel. The 3 car and the 03 car is taking right side tires. But Paul Brown is out. And Keith Chestnut's taking 4 tires. Jack Martell only took 2 in his fuel. Keith Chestnut's taking 4 tires and fuel. What kind of strategy he's working on? He's working on something. As he falls back to last place this afternoon here at Michigan International Speedway. Our new leader, Ron Blackwell. And that number 5 MSRL sponsored Chevy. Dave Christensen in that second position. Roy Wynn third. Kent Thomas fourth, and Lawrence Stopperworth is your top 5. As these guys go around the track, you see him getting ready to boogie, boogie, boogie again, or boogity, boogity, boogie, as our Walter would say. Pace car lights out on the pace car. The pace car going into pits. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing one more time. See Ron Blackwell jump out and take the lead here. Taking away from Dave Christensen. Ron Blackwell working hard to try to keep hold on to that lead, but Dave Christensen is working on the bottom of him, trying to fight back for that position. You see Rory Wynn trying to make it 3 wide here this afternoon as they come down the backstretch. Rory Wynn working on the back of Dave Christensen's car, pushing that number 72 Chevrolet around the back of the 3 and 4. As you see Rory get way a little bit tight and going up a little bit there toward the track. Not quite making it work out for him. Ron Blackwell still holding the middle of the track. Dave Christensen is taking over the lead here at lap 58. Before lap 58, lap 57, Dave Christensen taking over the lead here. Now on lap 58, Ron Blackwell drops back to second and Roy Wynn to third. Kent Thomas working fourth and working hard as he can go on it as they're trying to close up a little bit of rank there and make it rank and file as they go down the backstretch. And Ron Blackwell working hard to try to keep that car out of trouble, working on the bottom of that track, trying to get some advantage on that number 72. But it don't look like that's going to happen right now at this point in time, because Dave Christensen has got that gas pedal to the floor, and his old truck driver you say on I-95, he's mashing his motor. And buddy, he's doing a fine job too. Dave Christensen out in the lead here this afternoon at laps 59 with 41 laps to go here. Still a long ways to go, folks. Anything can happen. A couple more pit stops I think these guys are going to have to make before the end of the race if no one gets in an accident, and see what happens. Everybody holds the line, does what they're supposed to. I think it's going to be, so far it's been a pretty uneventful race. Been a good race too. Let's see Keith Chestnut, that number 3 sponsor of the Goodrich Chevy Camaro, bringing it to the rear. Roy Wynn working hard on that outside. As you see him trying his best to trying to gain some real estate on the Ron Blackwell here this afternoon. Kent Thomas working on the back of Roy Wynn, trying to give him a push around. You can do some drafting on this track here, and pretty good too. Drafting is just about as good here as it is Daytona. If it had a half more mile in the track, it would be Daytona. It'd probably be better than Daytona. I think this track here is a little bit, it's wider than Daytona. But the speed here is real good. It's not as banked as Daytona, but they can carry a lot of speed through the corners. As you see Roy Wynn holding about 190 mile an hour in turns 1 and 2. Roy Wynn working on that middle lane this afternoon here on lap 61. Kent Thomas, number 4. Lauren Stopworth, number 5. Good to see Will Bartola back up on the lead of that run in 6th position here. Val Witcher's 8. Paul Brown. Paul Brown just fell back to 8th position. What in the world, Paul? Paul's trying to work his way on the outside of Val Witcher's for the race. It's a tight race battle right here. Ooh, and they get pretty close together. Coming out of 2. Paul working his way, trying to get back up toward the front. As you see Jack Martell working on his back bumper. Paul Brown diving down to the bottom, trying to work himself on the outside of, got Val Witchers here, picking up in that 7th position. Paul running by himself on the bottom there, trying to make up some time. And Val Witchers, no, not today, buddy. Val Witchers fighting him hard on the outside. Getting a little bit better run on the top, but Paul managed to hang on to the bottom of it, make it work for him. Now you see that 3 car working up in there. So right now you got a pretty close battle between the 03, the 70, the 101, and the 3 car. It's a pretty tight, close race right here, guys. Just be careful. Let's go back up front as we see Roy Wynn taking over the lead here this afternoon, lap 64. Roy Wynn, that number 14 Napa-sponsored Chevy Camaro, was taking over the lead here this afternoon as they come down the backstretch with Ron Blackwell behind him. And Lawrence Stopworth and Dave Christensen fell back to 4th position. Oh, and Ron hang on to it. Ron getting mighty close to that number 14 car, sliding up into turns 3 and 4. As you see Ron trying to get behind Roy and can't do it. see him trying to work himself hard in here, and Roy trying to work that high side, and they almost get together again. I'm just going to be, and then Roy gets into the wall, and there goes his chances of leading the race. Roy Wynn's car getting tight on him as he goes up into the wall here this afternoon on lap 65, and causes a little bit of side damage on his car. That's going to slow him down some. Put him back in the 5th position. I know he hates that. As you see that 40 car, the 70, and the 03 car battling out for position here this afternoon. Paul Brown working on the back of Kent Thomas here this afternoon and going in turns 1 and 2. Jack Martell on the bottom and the 3 right behind Jack Martell. So this is a tight little battle here of its own. So we got 2 different hard races. We got one up front, one at the back. Kent Thomas holding that number 40 in the middle of the track, and Paul Brown dived bottom of the bottom line. Will he get past him? Paul Brown had the opportunity to get some speed off of turn 3 and 4. He makes the pass on him, so that's going to put Paul Brown in P6 this afternoon. Roy Wynn still working on the back of Dave Christensen in P5. Dave 4. Will Bartolo still in the 3rd position. See these guys working hard this afternoon. Ron Blackwell fell back to 2nd position behind the leader, Lawrence Stopworth here. He's taking over the lead here at lap 66. I'm sorry, lap 67. Fixing to be 68 here. Lawrence Stopworth, your race leader here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. Making it work in the middle of that track. Putting a little distance between him and Ron Blackwell this afternoon. So Ron's found some horsepower in that number 5 Chevrolet somewhere or another. As they're working hard to try to keep their cars from slipping and sliding. Lawrence Stopworth doing a fine job here running that number 41 Mac 2 sponsor Chevy SS here at Michigan International Speedway. And you see Lauren cross the start-finish line at 204 miles per hour. So restrictor plates is slam off for these cars this afternoon. They may have one on there, but it's nothing like what's on Talladega and Daytona. I can tell you that. These guys are just nailing it to the cross. See these guys in the back there fussing and fighting over position. Lawrence Stopworth still your race leader. Ron Blackwell in P2. Roy Wynn in 3. Will Bartolo in 4. And Paul Brown has worked his way up to the 5th position in front of Dave Christensen. Oh, look out here. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Could be a mess right here if they ain't careful. Look like Roy Wynn got a little loose right there coming in turn 2 or coming in turn 1. And Will Bartolo jumps on the outside of Roy Wynn, trying to see if he can find some real estate he can grab a hold of. Roy said, not this time, buddy. He said, I'm going to go down there with you. So a good race between the 14, the 01, and the 70 here. Oh, and looked like to me, Will Bartolo got a little bit into the wall. Was going to jump down there to the bottom and try to follow Paul Brown, but realizing that he hadn't got quite past him yet, so Will jetted back up, kind of scraped the wall a little bit. Might be some light side damage on his right side of his car. And Lawrence Stopworth continues to pull away from the rest of the field here. You see these guys come around in turn 4. So you see Paul Brown has picked up back to 3rd position. He has worked his way up from the 8th position back to 3rd here. So Paul Brown's finding him a little horsepower up under that Chevy hood, making his presence known right here. Lap 72 here. Michigan International Speedway, sponsored by MSRL.US. Look them up online. Oh, you see the number 5 car is. Number 5 car pitting? I think he is. Number 5 car making a pit stop this afternoon here. Ron Blackwell dropping back to last position here, lap number 72. As he go down pit road. What are they going to do to his car? Right side tires, Sunoco gas. And left side tires and Sunoco gas. So Ron's getting the full deal here this afternoon. With 25, 26, 27 laps to go, somewhere along in there. It's just smart poker for him to do that. So he goes in 10th and comes back out in 10th position. Picking up full fresh tires and full tank of gas. Paul Brown still your race leader here this afternoon on lap 74. Jack Martell's picked up the second position here this afternoon on lap 74. Keith Chestnut's picked up the third position. You see the rest of these guys, Dave Christensen, Ron, Roy Wynn, Kent Thomas, Val Woodchards, Will Bartoli, and Lawrence Stopworth, all of them in the pits. Here they come. Looks like Lawrence Stopworth's going to beat them out of the pits. So that's what you got, folks, right there. Lawrence Stopworth beating them all out of the pits, coming in fourth position here. He's working his way on the bottom of the track down there on the apron. Waiting to get on the backstretch and kill. Oh, he looked like he got just a little bit loose there. Be careful, Lawrence. That apron's nothing to play with. There's these guys coming up there. Dave Christensen falls back to 8th position. Kent Thomas back to the last. Paul Brown now is coming down pit road. Going to get service for his car here on lap 75. Lap 75. Paul Brown coming down pit road here. And I know, Paul, I'm probably thinking there'll be 2 tires of fuel. If he gets 2 tires at all. But it will be 2 tires of fuel. So it'll be a quick pit stop for him. His guys jumping out there and jacking the right side car up, or not. Yep, jacking that right side up, getting 2 tires on the right-hand side. Brand new Goodyear Eagles. And getting gas and pulling out the fender a little bit for some reason or other. And here he goes. He's not getting left side tires. So, yep, he's going now. A little bit of smoke coming out the back end. Smoke of the tires coming out of the pit road. Which that's normal for everybody. They do that all the time. So Paul Brown still retains the lead here on lap 1. Falls back to second position after coming out of pit road. Roy Wynn picked up that second position here. Now Lawrence Stopworth third. Ron Blackwell is your new race leader. Ron Blackwell, your New Jersey new race leader. Getting it done here on lap 76 this afternoon. Second place car Roy Wynn. Snellville, Georgia. These guys stretched out here, making things work. Roy Winner at number 14, Napa sponsor Chevy Camaro. Everybody heading down the back stretch, kind of stretched out a little bit. Lawrence Stopworth third. Will Bartoli fourth, and Paul Brown fifth position this afternoon. And we see the last 2 cars on the lead lap, which are Keith Chestnut in 9th and Jack Martell in 10th. As we look out in front of Jack's car. See the Goodyear blimp floating around, trying to get an aerial shot of everything. 207 mile an hour in the corners for Jack. He slowed down to about 190. Holds the bottom of that track. Slingshots off the corner. Change cameras, go to that number 3 Goodyear. You see how far back Jack is. Don't count Jack out whatever you do just because you think his car is way back there. Jack's like a snake. When you think you walked around him, he's going to be in front of you, being careful. So, with that being said, going back up here to see who's what, where, when, and how. Paul Brown's taking over fourth position. Lawrence Stopworth third. Roy Wynn second. And Ron Blackwell still your race leader here. Lap number 80 with 20 laps to go here, folks. Winding down. Winding down here at Michigan International Speedway. Ron Blackwell doing everything he can to win this race. And you see Lawrence Stopworth and Roy Wynn working together in tandem. Try to get some drafting speed to pick up some miles per hour on Ron, and it looks like them guys are there. So Roy Wynn and Lawrence Stopworth has worked together in tandem and picked up some drafting speed, and are now working on Ron. Oh, it looked like a little contact there, a little contact between the 14 and the 5. Roy's telling Ron, "Hey, if you don't have a fast car, get out of the way. I got to go." And you see him running almost. I think they were going to run 3 wide, but Roy's going down in the bottom of turn 3 and 4. That's going to put him back in the lead here unless Ron's able to fight back. And he's not, so Roy Wynn's going to be your race leader here coming across the start-finish line. Paul Brown right there with him. Oh, man, that's getting it done too, buddy. Paul Brown rocking this. Oh, look out here, look out. We're gonna have a caution. Yes, we're gonna have a caution right here. So Roy Wynn loses Ron Blackwell gets a little sideways, and through the magic of television, we'll do a little back up and see what exactly happened. I think somebody got in the back of him. We're not sure, but we'll look and see. Okay. As they come around turn 1, you'll see Ron Blackwell running in the middle of the track as looking out the hood of let me look out the hood of Paul Brown's car. No, that's not the way I want to go, cameraman. Wake up. Okay. This is a little bit of slow motion here. First caution of the day beside the competition. Lap 82. You see Roy Wynn, the race leader. Ron Blackwell in second position. Paul Brown in third. And looks like Ron's car going to get loose all by itself. So Ron Blackwell here is already right now in that position that car's turned. He's already out of control. You hear the engine of Paul Brown back off and never did make contact, so that's a good thing. Paul was paying attention and saw Ron get out of control, and looks like Paul didn't kind of he might have just slightly tapped him, but Ron was already out of control here and going out to going down turn 3 here. You see out in front of Will Bartoli's car, Ron Blackwell getting sideways here. Will seeing what's going on in front of him, taking evasive action. Ron going sideways, headed up to the wall. And collecting the outside wall and turning him 180 degrees and putting Ron in the wall. So that's going to bring out the first competition here today at Michigan International Speedway. Right here at lap 82. Everybody scatters to keep from hitting one another. And so that's going to put Roy Wynn in the lead here this afternoon. Roy Wynn, your race leader here on lap 82, under caution. As everybody tries to gather themselves up in direct order. Pace car should be out, and it is, and Roy, as usual, is in a hurry, but that's fine. Roy Wynn, your race leader. Lawrence Stopworth second. Paul Brown's worked his way back up to third position. Will Bartoli still holding fourth. Dave Christensen running fifth. By Woodward 6th. Kent Thomas 7th. Keith Chestnut 8th. Jack Martell 9th. And Ron Blackwell recovering from that self-spin here just a lap ago. And turns turn 2 in the 10th position. Folks, we're going to take a station break. We'll be back momentarily. We'll keep your eye on the tube. And welcome back, race fans, as we're under caution here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. The number 5 car got the self-spin in turn 2, and that brought out the caution, the first actual caution of the day, other than the competition caution. You see these guys, Roy Wynn is in the race lead as he brings these cars down pit road. You see Keith Chestnut and Jack Martell staying out on the track, hoping to gain a couple points for leading the race here. So Keith Chestnut, that's what he's thinking is that I'm already running near the back. Why not stay out and gain a couple points for leading the lap? And that's what he's doing, him and Jack Martell both. And sadly, only one car is going to get the points. You see Paul Brown getting right side tires. And no fuel. And no left side tires. So Paul Brown's out. Paul Brown's going to come out, and you see Will Bartolo way out there in the middle of pit road. So evidently he had to clear somebody to keep running over. That's going to put Roy Wynn running in the back to number 4 position. Paul Brown come out 3rd. Jack Martell 2nd. Keith Chestnut here is new leader. Down the back stretch here this afternoon, lap number 85 with 15 to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Of course, I suspect that them cars, the 3 car and the 03 car, will go down pit road and take tires and fuel. They have not pitted yet, so when they do, the cars will cycle out. They will lose that 1 and 2 position. Pace car is in front of them with the lights on. Courtesy of North Jersey Chevy. And you see they might not be going in. So you see the 03 car pitting, but the 3 car stays out. So he's going to get to lead another lap here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. And 3 cars telling his crew that his crew chief that he's got to have some major changes because the car's not running like he wants it to run. It's not holding its own in the corner. It's tight, so they're going to bring him in pit road and make some wedge and air pressure adjustments in right side tires, hoping that'll loose up a little bit. maybe a half a spring rubber in that right rear side of that car loosen up a little bit and won't be able to where he can hold his speed and pick up some positions here. We'll have to see. Cars coming down the back stretch here this afternoon in Michigan. Not a cloud in the sky. Beautiful day. What a great day for racing. Of course, any day is a great day for racing. As you can see by our grandstands, we got 3 or 4, 6 grandstands full of people that COVID-19 don't bother us. We don't pay that junk no mind. We just let it race. And you see a little bit of bumping going on there between the 14 and the 3. So evidently there's some a little bit of a trickery going on here in lap 86 at the coming out of turn 4 between the 14 and the 3 car. Now you see the 3 car coming down pit road, him and the 5 car, and the 40 car, and the 03 car. With 1 lap to go, these guys are coming down and trying to get their cars full of fuel so they can make the rest of the race with no problem. 17 or 18 lap pit window here at this fast track, 2-mile track, will burn fuel excessively. As Roy Wynn would say, we ride at a high rate of fuel consumption. So he's getting, what is he getting? Right side tires, fuel. Ron Blackwell got fuel only. He's out of the pits. And Keith's car, he's number 3, is getting 4 tires and fuel. As you see, Kent Thomas, right side tires and fuel only. So that's going to put that 3 back into last position here with 13 laps left to go in this race. He's got a tall order ahead of him if he thinks he's going to get through the field like that. But we'll see. Kent Thomas in 9th, Ron Blackwell in 8th, Jack Martell in 7th, Val Woodward 6th, Will Bartoli 5th, Lawrence Stopperworth 4th, Dave Christensen 3rd, Roy Wynn in 2nd, and Paul Brown is the new leader here this afternoon. Lap 87 under caution as the cars go around here before they take the green flag to go back racing. You can see Dave Christensen messing around there a little bit. And on the bottom side of the 41, Lawrence Stopworth, a little bit of shenanigans going on between the 101 and the 41. A little bump in the back end, letting you know, say, hey, I'm behind you. Don't miss a gear. Hope your spark plugs don't malfunction. Pace car is going off the racetrack, guys. So this should be interesting. This is going to be a good restart right here. As you drop the green flag, we're back to green flag racing. Dave Christensen working on that bottom side behind Paul Brown, that 2nd position here. Hoping to get some real estate done. Working on trying to go diving on the bottom of Paul Brown. Is he going to be able to pass him? No, he's not. He's going to have to duck right in behind Paul Brown. Ducking right in behind him this time. And we see everybody coming down the track. Did we see another caution out somewhere? It must be. We could have had it was like we had another caution come out, and Roy Wynn, I believe, was involved in some kind of incident here. As we see his car, like somebody got in the back of Roy. We're gonna have to slow this thing down and see what happened. We do a little backwards racing here. And then move forward kind of slow. We see Roy Wynn running in the middle of the track. And it looks like maybe running 3 wide here. Almost 5 wide. 4 wide. As we see Roy Wynn here looking like he is going to go up and maybe tap the side of Lauren Stopperworth, and that's going to get his car sideways. And that's not going to help him at all, because basically with that, Val Woodward right behind him got in his quarter panel and pushed him all the way around. So Roy Wynn here, a victim of hard racing this afternoon here at Michigan International Speedway on lap 88. As Roy does what he needs to do to try to collect his car. and being out of control at that point, and he does hit the outside wall, as you see. That's going to cause him to have a little damage. Probably have to go in and get pits and get that back in that car fixed to where he can run it and finish out the race. But Roy Wynn here this afternoon involved in a hard racing incident here at Michigan International Speedway. And we were wondering what brought out the caution, but now we know. Tough break for Roy Wynn this afternoon here at Michigan International Speedway on lap 88. As we go back up front and see Paul Brown cross the start-finish line here shortly at lap 89. With 5 laps of caution, so they're looking somewhere around 93, 94 laps before they go back green flag racing. See Dave Christensen coming up in the second position. Dave Christensen, affectionately known around the track and the drivers' meeting as Dave C. Pace car is back on the back out on the track under caution. Pace car is getting as much seat time this afternoon as some of the drivers are. And some of them, the way to drive is a good thing. So, under caution here at lap 89 this afternoon, folks, at Michigan International Speedway. With Paul Brown leading the race, Dave Christensen second. Will Bartola third, Jack Martell fourth, and Lawrence Stoppleworth running in the top 5. Excuse me. Caught me yawning, didn't you? And folks, we'll be back momentarily. Welcome back to SCTV, folks. I'm your host, Bill Dale. We see the 3 car and the 14 car after we're under caution here this afternoon as that self-spin of the 14 car getting loose and getting a little help from behind. So we'll see what kind of service they get for their cars. The right side tires and fuel, and probably left side tires for that number 3 car. No, only right side tires and fuel, as that Roy Wynn gets both left and right side tires as he got caught up in that spin up in turn 2, and that is going to flat spot some tires. So Roy made a good choice on his part to get his crew to put on 4 tires and fill up with fuel. Back out on the track, running in the last position. Paul Brown, our race leader here, lap 91 with only 9 laps left to go here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway. As you see Paul Brown on the inside, Dave Christensen on the outside. Will Bartolo, the 01 LA Kings sponsored Chevy Camaro, native of California. In the race with MSRL a long time. Getting it done here this afternoon, folks, as the race is winding down. Pace car is off. Fixing to go back green flag racing. 9 more laps. Here we go. Paul Brown jumps out and takes the lead. Will Bartolo right to his heels. You see Dave Christensen working hard on that outside, trying to get that second position taken away from Will Bartolo. Dave Christensen jumps in behind that 70 car and drags him down the backstretch. Working hard on that 70 car is Paul Brown, doing everything he can to keep those cars from pacing. He is really standing up on that gas pedal this afternoon. Will Bartolo in third, Dave Christian second. Is that Jack Martell running third. And who else is running what, where, we don't know when. But look at that, look at this, folks. Look at this. Look at the number 3 car working on it hard this afternoon. Trying to stay on the outside, running at 9th position. Is Ron Blackwell following the 10th position this afternoon. Paul Brown still leading the race. Dave Christensen working hard on keeping that second position, fighting every inch of the way for that second position as Will Bartolo dives down toward the bottom and he thought he had a good run on him, but the consistency speed of running on the outside is going to help Dave Christensen hold that second position across the start-finish line here at lap 93. Dave Christensen running hard, trying to gain position on Paul Brown this afternoon as he closes the gap. Paul and Jack Martell in the 03 car coming in, trying to get behind the 72 and follow him, pick up a draft, and maybe can get a better position, finishing position what he's got. Right now, it's anybody's guess. But from what you're looking at, it looks like Paul Brown, Dave Christensen, and Jack Martell, but anything can happen with the last 6 laps of this race left to go. As they cross the start-finish line here with 5 laps left to go here at Michigan International Speedway, it's Paul Brown, Dave Christensen, and Jack Martell, Lawrence Stoppelworth, and Will Bartolo, the top 5 racers here this afternoon. Jack Martell working on the outside of Dave Christensen a little bit. Dave Christensen working on the back of Paul Brown, trying to find some sweet spot to get into so he can let Paul help pull him around the track. You see Dave drop down toward the bottom a little bit, getting a little squirrely, trying to make that car work on him. He's doing everything he can to try to get that position on him. Jack Martell working on the back of Dave Christensen. Lawrence Stockworth working on the back of Jack Martell. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 race this afternoon here. As they go into turns 1 and 2, as you see Paul Brown working that middle line, Dave Christensen sticking to the back of him, trying to make it work. And I think we're under caution here again this afternoon, folks, and sure enough we are. Let's see what happened this time, folks, as we go back through the field and see what's happened here. And we see the 3 car. Did he spin, or what happened to the 3 car? We don't know. We had to check and see. Oh, it looks like oh, okay. Well, we got it right here, folks. The 3 car dives to the bottom. And then you see, well, you can't see anything, can you? Right there you can. 3 cars at the bottom. As you see the 3 car going up the track a little bit, Ron Blackwell comes down on tries to get below him and make a pass on the 3 car. And gets kind of low. And can't hold that line and comes up and makes contact with the 3 car, and that's going to send both of them in a spin. So another caution here this afternoon, lap 96 with only 4 laps to go. And tough break for them two guys because they were trying to stay on the lead lap. And so if everything works out just right, they might be able to. So who knows? You see that 3-car trying his best to gain control of the car. And you know them tires are going to be wore slam out when he gets back to pit road, as you see Ron Blackwell sliding up toward the down the outside wall, and Chestnut hitting the wall himself and backing up. So both cars involved here this afternoon, lap 93 at Michigan International Speedway under caution. Paul Brown, your race leader here, going up on lap 96. Going from lap 97, so that's going to throw us into overtime, folks. We'll probably have a green and white checkered shootout right here at the last of the race because of the caution that happened at lap 96 between the 3 and the 5. Paul Brown, your race leader this afternoon. Dave Christensen on the outside. Number 72 Cam King sponsored Chevrolet. So this is going to change everything. The tables is going to be turned, and it's anybody's guess right now. If Dave can pick up the speed that he needs and hold him off on the outside, he may get the lead, but we'll have to see. It's going to be anybody's guess right now. And, whoa, Ron. Like you were trying to cook it too hard there, buddy. Paul Brown, your race leader this afternoon. Lap number 97. This will throw us in overtime. Dave Christensen second. Jack Martell in third. Lawrence Stopworth in fourth. Will Bartoli in fifth. Kent Thomas in sixth. Roy Wynn in seventh. Val Witchers eighth. Keith Chestnut in ninth. And Ron Blackwell brings up the rear of the field in 10th position. And Paul Brown tries to pull a fake, and nobody bought it. So we're under caution here afternoon, folks, right here at lap 97 at Michigan International Speedway. We will return momentarily. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, race fans. We're here under caution here at lap number 98 due to an earlier spin between the 3 and the 5 car and lap in turns 1 and 2 as the some of these guys are contemplating going into the pits. And let's see who does. Let's see, Lawrence Stopworth has parked his car this afternoon due to mechanical issues, and tough break for Lawrence Stopworth here this afternoon with only 3 or 4 laps to go here at Michigan International Speedway. Tough break for Lawrence Stopworth as mechanical failures on his car has cost him to finish the race this afternoon here at MSRL, Michigan International Speedway. Hope to see you next time, Lauren. Maybe good luck or do you a better hand, but that's the way it goes, folks. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and it's not the driver's fault, but just things happen. So Lawrence Stopworth, a good, strong competitor here this afternoon at Michigan International Speedway is out of the race right now. The only car out of the race so far. Paul Brown, still your race leader here at lap 99, going in overtime. Should be a green-white checkered here. Right here at the end of the race. Paul Brown running second. Dave Christensen running first. Jack Martell third. Will Bartoli fourth. Kent Thomas fifth. Roy Wynn sixth. Ron Blackwell seventh. Keith Chestnut eighth. Val Woodcher is ninth. And, of course, Lauren is out of the race. He's number 10. Dave Christensen then at number 72. Cam King sponsored Chevy Camaro. Grants Pass. There's your race leader here at lap number 99 as he brings up the field behind the pace car. Jack Martell in the 03 Ford Mustang behind him in the third position. And the pace car is off. Here we go, folks. So let's see what happens. Green flag drops in the air. Here comes Dave Christensen running hard. Jack Martell's pushing him. Jack Martell's right up on giving him a hard push. Paul Brown's working on the outside, trying to get some position to pass him. Can he do it? Dave Christensen has got out about 2 or 3 car lengths in front of Paul Brown. And there comes Kent Thomas. Everybody just everywhere trying to gain position, knowing it's the last couple of laps. Comes on lap 100. Dave Christensen working hard on that outside. And you see Paul Brown fighting on the bottom, trying to get that position back. Dave Christensen not wanting to give it up. He's just fighting back every inch he's worth. He's right here, folks. And you see the 3 car. Believe it or not, the 3 car has jumped into the 4th position from all the way to the back of the field. So it's just a wild race this afternoon, folks, right here. So you see now the 3 car is running in the 4th position behind Jack Martell. Dave Christensen still leading the race right here on this last lap, folks. Could be anybody's race. There's still a little stretch to go. You should see Paul Brown trying to get a side draft on the 03. He's not going to be able to do it unless he hang on the bottom. And that 3 car right dead in the back of that 70 car, where did he come from? So right now, folks, here it is. It's going to be boom, boom, boom. It's going to be a good race. We'll have to do it. Wow, that was wow. We'll have to find out, do a replay, see who was what where, because that was just too close to call. But I do believe, and you see these race shenanigans going on all the time, I do believe Dave Christensen won that race. As they come up right now, and we can see. Let's see if we can stop it just for a moment and get a better view here of what's going on with the cameras. And we'll go down and see if we can get us a slot here. And if we can get the cameraman to quit drinking Budweiser long enough to do anything, we'd be tickled to death. But that's how it is, folks, right here. And we'll see if we can get a better camera angle on it. And we'll see if we can do better than that. Yes, we'll do better than that. Right here is where it's going to tell the ball game. So we'll have to play that back, folks. This right here.